In this video, I'm going to be talking about a very important tumor side ferritin choke point, as they call it. This is something that people usually miss, and it's basically about polyphenols that block Scara5 mediated ferritin uptake. Pretty much, that's one of the main points of that blocks or prevents tunneling nanotubes in cancer. So the strongest evidence and the best mechanistic fit is epigallocatechin galate, or EGCG in short. It's in green tea. It might be better to get the low tannin green tea, but that's going to be for a different video. So basically, green tea lowers SCARA5 transcription via NFKB and AP1 suppression, and then epigenetic tightening of promoter accessibility. EGCG disrupts lipid-wrapped clustering, which leads to scavenger receptors fail to oligomerize, and it inhibits ferritin endocytosis without compensatory TFR1 upregulation. One of the reasons that tunneling nanotubes happens in the first place is because something called iron getting trapped in macrophages. So basically, it's when the macrophages they retain iron in ferritin, and then suppress NCOA4 mediated ferritinophagy. Basically, it leads to mitochondrial iron starvation, which is a reduction of heme synthesis. This also leads to a reduced ATP and reduced oxidative phosphorylation. So the reduced ATP leads to the mitochondria not being able to give energy to its immune cells, therefore leading to weak immune cells. So when iron is unavailable, HIFA or alpha is stabilized, and this basically turns on hypoxia programs. So basically, hypoxia is something that cancer cells thrive on, because hypoxia means oxygen starvation or oxygen deficiency, and basically, that's how cancer cells thrive off of low oxygen environments. So this hypoxia also leads to membrane protrusion signaling, or in other words, that's where the actual nanotube starts to come out, or starts forming. Hypoxia signaling as a result of iron trapped in macrophage directly promotes TNT formation through actin remodeling. So basically, actin remodeling is the core requirement for TNT. So basically, actin remodeling also goes hand in hand with the HIF signaling increases in RAC1 and then some other ones, but the main one I'm going to cover is RAC1, and that these drive actin polymerization, filopodia extension. So a filopodia is the actual tube itself, or the filopodia is just another name for the tube. Okay, so here's why it's important to take care of your mitochondria, because mitochondrial distress is another TNT trigger. The cells form TNTs when they have damaged mitochondria, when they lack ATP, and when they accumulate a reactive oxygen species that they cannot neutralize. So another reason to have adequate antioxidants like vitamin C and vitamin E. So iron deficient in macrophages, they cannot sustain ROS killing, cannot repair mitochondria efficiently, and become TNT receivers. Now the reason they form TNTs in the first place is because they're trying to transfer a mitochondria. When a cell forms TNT, and it's because they lack ATP or they have damaged mitochondria, so they form a tunneling nanotube to connect to another cell. It could even be a cancer cell or even a healthy cell to steal. I'm not sure if stealing is the right way to say it, or to get mitochondria from other cells. So they transfer the mitochondria through the nanotube. and the reason is because they have damaged the mitochondria or they're lacking ATP. Okay, now I want to talk about some fruits that actually target RAC1. So one of the fruits, one of the first ones is apples. So it has polyphenols and quercetin and fluoridazine. Basically, apples are anti-TNT because it does inhibit RAC1 membrane translocation. The next fruit is going to be bananas. It's mostly neutral, apples, so it's neutral to mild. Bananas do have boron though, so that boron can boost vitamin D. Therefore, vitamin D boosts the vitamin D receptor, and then the vitamin D receptor can access the gene transcription factors within chromatin, but only if chromatin is opened. It has to be opened, not closed, so that let's say immune system genes can be turned on. In this case, to battle cancer cells. Another good one here is kiwis. So vitamin C, actinitin. It's a mild protease. It's a mild anti-TNT. So it does reduce RAC1 indirectly via reactive oxygen species buffering. Yeah, but vitamin C is also an antioxidant, so yeah, so it reduces the ROS. Another one here is pears. It's actually a weak inhibitor of RAC1, so maybe pears wouldn't be too good. This goes to show that not all fruits have the same effect or the same metabolic impact. Peaches is another one. It's mostly neutral, but it doesn't have any meaningful promotion of TNT. So meaning that peaches don't help promote TNT. Probably one of the best ones out of all of these is grapes. So grapes have a very strong inhibition of RAC1 because it blocks RAC1 pack signaling. So basically, it suppresses TNT formation, and it is a strongly anti-TNT. So grapes is something to look into. Grapes also have a resveratrol and anthocyanin. I'll cover resveratrol in a different video. Next one here is tomatoes. Tomatoes also inhibit RAC1 effects, not as strongly as grapes, but still better than pears or bananas. So tomatoes reduce actin TNT protrusion signals, or pears reduce the actual tube from extending out. Next fruit here is papaya. It reduces inflammation-induced TNT. The way it does it is by cleaving CD14 on the toll-like receptor 4. So therefore, the lipopolysaccharide cannot take up the surface space on the toll-like receptor 4, which is caused by gluten. The lipopolysaccharide is a gram-negative bacteria. So yeah, the papaya is a protease. Basically, it cleaves like things like CD14. But other fruits can't do the same thing that papaya does, which proves that not all fruits are the same. Another good one here is pineapple. It is an anti-TNT. It destabilizes adhesion structures, or in other words, the tube cannot attach or have anything to grow from. So pineapple has a bromelain. It reduces NFKB, which directly reduces a RAC1 signaling. And the last fruit here is a watermelon. It's pretty neutral compared to the other fruit. It does have citrulline, which affects the nitric oxide, but yeah, the RAC1 effect is rather neutral, so probably not as good as the other fruits. But watermelon does have its benefits. So I'll see you. I'll see down in the comments for your any of your own posts on your own insights. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.